You and I are live to the entire world. Let me get this out of the way because I think I did a thing the other day. You, Monica Perez, you by far are the guest I've had on the most, but Monica Perez and Chastity Snowden are running a close, and then it's Heath Esslinger. So I still need to get this out of the way. Ed Jones is the owner of Nutrition World. He's the owner and host of the Holistic Navigator podcast, and he's also co-host of Vital Health Radio with Dr. Green. And you have been the owner of Nutrition World for 40 years, over 40 years. Did I get that right?
41 years.
There we go. All right. So if you've ever seen one of our live videos or listened to one of our past podcasts, I always try to put some things that we may talk about in the description, but really it can go 1,000 different directions, which is why I like having the conversation. But holistic living, habits, supplements, nutrition, exercise, that is in your wheelhouse. And I cannot think of a time and I'm 52 years old. I cannot think of a time in my life that has been more forefront. It's shoved in our face now. We're actually hearing on, press conferences, people talk about vitamin D, people talk about vitamin C. Now, and I want to get to the business part of it, but right now, the questions you're getting have been a lot of the same stuff you've been yelling at people when they weren't listening for 3 and 4 decades.
Absolutely. I'd see a radical change in people's awareness of the human body, because many people thought that if you were broken, you got sick, you got ill, going to the doctor would probably fix you. And this is an awakening for those who have not gone down this path. And the awakening is your own immune system is key. That's what prevents people from getting cancer. That's what prevents people from getting many diseases. But it also is the arsenal that will fight viruses and bacteria and yeast and mold and everything that we are going to live through in our life. We're going to have moments of infection. We will. It's just part of being a human. Well, what to get to me that really bothers me is we're using so many toxic treatments, sometimes to no avail, and sometimes they work, but they leave the patient far worse off many times than before. Now, there's times and places for that. Don't get me wrong. I do not think when you have full-blown pneumonia, you should be counting on elderberry. But the thing is, viruses, every person listening to this podcast who is 60 years old has already lived through at least 50 viral attacks in their life. A virus is not a living organism. It basically goes in and it's a piece of a type of protein that hijacks your own cell. So it's not like a bacteria. Bacteria are their own organisms. Well, when you have something that's hijacking your cells, it's tough for the immune system, and it's also why drugs don't work, because it's inside your own cell. So what do? The only way to cure it is to make your immune system strong, but also focused, so that it goes in and finds these predators, these pathogens, and controls it. Well, how do you do that? We all know with common sense, and you don't need any freaking medical degree to know this, older people who are weakened are always more infection prone and they take longer to heal. Well, why is that? It's because their body has left the area of being nourished and robustly healthy. That's why 20-year-olds can get over something that a 60-year-old can't. So what do we do with that? We use common sense and say, how can we build the immune system? Sleep, the diet, and supplementation. I mean, it's basically not rocket science.
Well, and let me jump off right there for a second. And because there's some questions I want to ask about some products, and I'm just going to give you a tip because I love live videos. When you talk, your camera's moving a little bit, so you're jiggling around. You might want to kind of hold it a little tighter.
All right.
Well, the reason that I know you have been instructing people of this is because when you say healthy, it means a lot of things. But the people that are most susceptible to this virus specifically, and I say that, but it's the flu, it's everything, are not only elderly, but it's the obese, those with diabetes, people who have maybe lack of sleep, because when you sleep is when your body repairs. And so the things that we can control, we haven't been controlling that automatically can put you into a high risk category, when in reality, you could back your way out of that, some of that, simply by the choices you make of what I take for supplements, what kind of food I do, and what kind of activity I have. It sounds simple. It's easy to say, and it's really hard to do for a lot of people.
Exactly. Well worded, because we have the ability to re-nourish our body if it's not. It's almost like the financial part of, well, I'm going to start saving money next year for a vacation or for retirement or to buy a house. And if that next year never comes, well, you never get ahead. Well, we have to do the same thing with our health. We have to do it with our choices. And it is a choice point, because you cannot leave the hope that your immune system is going to tackle everything in the doctor's office, because they actually don't have one single really good remedy for viral infections. The virus infection, as we know, many people are getting this with almost no symptoms. Well, why is that? It's because their immune system is optimally healthy. And you're right, 47% of all people who are in a dire strait with this virus is obese. 47%. So right there's one out of every two. We know the reason.
Well, and also, this won't be the last time. It won't be the last time either. This virus will come back and look different, or there'll be a next virus or a next bacteria or a next fill in the blank that challenges and attacks our immune system and our health. And again, I think these, just like in financial crisis, certain things are highlighted, right? The structure of our banks get highlighted when we have financial crisis. How much has Clint planned for the future when financial things get tight? All that, pressure reveals leaks. And I think this pressure on us, we the people, as far as our health go, has revealed some leaks that really the CDC, we can all have opinions about what the CDC did or the government or China, but in reality, we can't control that. But we can control what we eat in the morning, and we can control some other things. So with all that being said, I want to jump into some specifics. I want to make sure we cover, before we let you go here in a little bit, I want to make sure we cover your immunity toolkit or your immune stuff that you can provide at Nutrition World. And I also want to talk about your business side of it. How's it going with podcasting and the new business structure and online shopping? And then I also want to hit on, you said that people now are reaching out about how to handle fear, how to handle anxiety, and how to handle stress. So with that being said, let's start with the immunity kit. You've put together some stuff where people can come in. Is that still in place?
It's still in place. And what it involves is, and I want to say this, I have never in 41 years had more physicians who sent patients in than I have in the past 8 weeks. The fact that they are finally realizing the value of nutritional supplementation, of course, is like winning the lottery to me. And they're just basically using, the kind of common sense things that, like vitamin C and vitamin D and vitamin A. Those three things are humongously researched to help the immune system. Now, I have the podcast, The Holistic Navigator. We can't be telling people how to treat a disease. That's against the law. We can help people to have optimal immune systems. And how do we do that? We do it through the use of basically 4 or 5 nutrients: D, C, A, and to me, mushrooms, medicinal mushrooms, are probably the key components of maintaining a healthy immune system during periods when we're worried about it. If we're at a summertime and there's not many people sick, you could eliminate the mushrooms. But those three and maybe a multivitamin are humongously important. Now, you can go to nutritionw.com and type in immune tool kit, and you can read and listen or watch. And then the Holistic Navigator, Dr. Michael Smith, who's the medical director of Life Extension, a genius, has a great 30-minute episode of what basically he would do if he's under the weather. That's the term I have to use. I can't say if you're sick with a virus, because again, we have to legally say go to your doctor. The thing is, most physicians and nurse practitioners today are kind of telling the patient what we already know, which is we need to boost your immune system. How do we do that? Help your sleep, help your diet, and supplement. So we're here to help for anyone who wants to embrace that. And you're right. The next conversation, which we're hearing 50% of the time, is I can't sleep anymore. I'm waking up all night. I'm never rested. I'm anxious. I'm panicky. I mean, panic attacks is really fear on steroids, and that's what's happening today. And do we want to use Xanax for that? No, we don't. It's the most addictive drug that's probably handed out. Are there natural remedies that help to take you from a 10 level panic attack to a 6? Yes, there are. Will it take you from a 10 to a 1? No, it won't.
Well,
But
let me do this. Let me slow down a little bit, because what will help on top of the supplementation, I will throw this in there because I've learned this. When I say this, when I look back on life and I've been on my A game, I have had some personal habits, waking up and being grateful, whether you talk about meditation or prayer, small things, exercise and movement, little things like that, keeping those commitments to yourself along with supplementation and dieting and the attitude. I found that those things really help protect my mindset as well. Now, we have a couple of questions, and I want to make sure that I tell people this. I'm about to go online either tonight or tomorrow, because I'm out of my vitamin D and I'm out of vitamin C and I'm out of my stinking green drink as of tomorrow. So Clint's about to go online to nutritionw.com, and I'm about to go buy my part in the toolkit, the immunity toolkit. So here's the questions I'm getting, though, if you don't mind me just kind of throwing them at you. One is, what mushrooms? We don't have to spend too much time on it, but someone asked, what mushrooms? What are you talking about?
Well, mushrooms of quality origin like chaga, reishi, shiitake, lion's mane, and turkey tail. Those are 5 big ones. I am a huge believer that there's really only one company I completely trust. It's Host Defense. I know the guy who established it, Paul Stamets. Unbelievably, he's like the genius of the world or universe on mushrooms. Well, he's learned how to grow these to keep the medicinal value, because mushrooms are basically immune to everything. You can literally put these mushrooms on a pile of oil that someone poured on the ground, and the mushrooms will take the oil, detoxify it, and grow more mushrooms. Nothing
Wow.
can kill a mushroom. Well, guess what? When we take this quality of mushroom, it strengthens our immune system. But the thing about mushrooms that makes it important is this virus, and sometimes even with flu and other things, we get into something called a cytokine storm. The cytokine storm means the immune system went overboard. It went too high, and it caused the body to retain fluid. It caused damage in the body. Mushrooms focus an immune system to keep it from being too low or too high. Miraculous. Nutrients won't do that. Only
And
mushrooms.
and
So
you've done a podcast on that too, right?
I have, and it's on the Holistic Navigator. Jerry Angelini, we talked about that. Now, my community is the one I'm using, which has about 14 mushrooms. I take 2 a day for prevention. I take 6 a day if I was feeling under the weather. And again, if you're being medically treated, ask your doctor. I've not seen one person who can't take a mushroom yet. There are certain nutrients you can't do with a lot of health issues, but mushrooms seem to be not one of those.
The other question I think there was some feedback. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, One of the other questions they had was, and I'm getting feedback, why is CBD oil so very expensive?
It takes a lot of the plant to get the active ingredient. Now we've seen prices drop about 30% since this time last year, and we have allowed that we pass it along. Not all brands are terribly expensive. We have 2 that I think are very reasonable. CBD is one of the remedies that I'm hugely involved and invested in to calm us down, but only if you get the brands that tend to have the terpenes that are calming. Some brands have terpenes that won't do that. They may reduce pain instead of anxiety. We know our CBD very well, so we know the brands to recommend for that. I keep on hand at my place constantly GABA, which calms me down at night. If I wake up in the middle of the night, I keep CBD, and I keep a product called Anxio Calm. It comes in a box that is labeled for anxiety. These things will work in 30 minutes to help you to be calmer with no addictive quality.
Well, and I have bought CBD at your place several times for different reasons. And there are some very expensive ones in there, but I have found them very cost effective, especially when you look at other supplementation. So we talked about sleep. Melatonin's pretty important too, isn't it, for the immune
Melatonin,
system?
actually, I thought I was well read on everything that I have here. I wasn't as well read on melatonin as I thought I was, because what's happened, Dr. Michael Smith in Life Extension, when we talked about what do you do if you're under the weather, he brought up melatonin at high dosing, and it was like I was shaking my head like, you're talking about melatonin if you're under the weather? And he gave me the research data on it. It is remarkable for immune dysfunction and weak immune systems. I now am doing 10 milligrams at night, and I am sleeping better. Never thought that would even help me, and it does. But secondly, part of the gut issue called leaky gut is one reason why people who get any sickness can go downhill very quickly, because the gut actually is not healthy, and melatonin helps repair that. And it helps to keep like mushrooms, it tends to help keep the immune system focused.
All
And
right,
it's cheap, and it's cheap, and it's safe.
yeah.
You can buy melatonin for $10 and do a really good, nice dose every night.
Well, that's in my toolkit to buy today. I've only got about 5 days of it left. So,
Well,
well,
we are, and on the green drink, I'm hugely a fan of that. But believe it or not, the country is almost sold out of green powder. One reason is because, like me, I'm not able to eat all the green foods that I used to. So I'm relying on this green drink to do all the magic that
don't you
greens
sell
do.
the last one. I'm telling you right
All
now.
we have is the big ones, but the natural factors makes my secondary choice. So green
No,
vibrance was one, natural factors is two. Perfectly fine. We have enough of that one right
no, no.
now.
Which one do you take?
I'm doing green vibrance until
That's
I
what I
run
want.
out. And we
That's
don't
what I
have any.
want. Dang
All
it.
we got is a huge size.
I'm coming to your house and breaking in then. That's what
No,
I'm
you're
doing.
not.
Uh, all right. So we talked about the fear, the anxiety, and stress. That request is going through the roof. We talked about CBD a little bit, and I think you answered the question. We talked about melatonin. You mentioned GABA is very important for the sleep, because again, why do you, when people talk about stress and fear and anxiety, why do you bring up sleep? Because that's where your body repairs. Not only will it repair your body, it repairs your mind and your soul. Sleep is good for you all over. And by the way, Janice Boyd, hello. She's the one that asked about the mushrooms and CBD. She said she will be there tomorrow. So
Well,
good
I
for her.
appreciate that. It's such a remarkable product. I do encourage people to listen to my conversation with Jerry Angelini on the Holistic Navigator. He gives more specifics on this.
Well, this brings up a good question. And I want to make sure I'm saying it right. Last time we talked, online shopping was going through the roof. Tell people about the delivery parameters and the curbside service. How many people can you let in the store? Let everybody know about the business practice so they can actually buy the products.
Well, first off, we still are considered a food market because we sell all of the beef, we sell salmon, we sell buffalo, we have cereals, grains, all the cosmetic baby food.
Real quick, is that going up too? Because I would think I'm seeing more people now planting their own little small gardens
Mhm.
and trying to become more self-reliant and starting to think more about the health part of it. Is the food part going up too?
It is. And, we sell pet food and all these things. And the thing is, like cosmetics and health and beauty, the people who are really studying this, like me, know that all of these sanitizers we're using, it's good in one way and it's poisonous in another. You can't put bleach on you and all these chemicals and not expect it to go into your body. So,
Well,
what
I've
I'm
been
doing,
using Lysol like a teenage boy uses Axe body spray, man. I am, I
no,
smell
no, no,
like
no.
I smell like clean linen.
Well, there's going to be a side effect of that because one is we're going to produce some germs that are not going to be, they're going to be resistant because we've used too much of these. Secondly, you can buy things at Nutrition World that are going to kill the germs without killing you. And they're cheap. I use a hand sanitizer for $4.99. It has the alcohol plus the tea tree oil and no chemicals.
Gummit,
And
just
so
throw it in
there's
my bag.
options.
Let me
There's
write it
options.
down again. Okay, continue on about. Tell me about the business practice. I'm sorry,
You
because your
know,
food too.
it's been awesome because we've tried to do everything right to be safe, sanitary. My employees wear masks. We sanitize constantly. We now only let 5 people in the store at one time. A couple would count as one. And we make sure we distance. We do all the right things. Secondly, curbside delivery. You don't want to come in, you call us. We'll bring it to you. We'll do everything. You can go online at nutritionw.com. You can order it. We have local delivery within 15 miles now. We actually had to cut it back from 20. And then fourthly, we have post office. So most people get it probably the next day if you called in or online that morning, nutritionw.com, and you're going to get everything that you need.
Well, your curbside service worked great for me 2 weeks ago when I
Oh,
was out
good.
of some stuff. Yeah, I called. I mean, I went online and ordered it. Then I called. When I called, when I found it was confirmed, said, "Hey, I just bought the order," and they were looking at it. I said, "If I came in an hour," they said, "We'll have it to you by then." And I pulled up, called. They walked it out, laid it down. I picked it up because I'm a sissy Mary and really am paranoid about touching people right now. And I put it in my car, and then it went great.
Thank you for that. And I have the most wonderful staff. I never believed that the courageousness of my staff, because it's well, this time last month, people were totally panicked. They're
Yeah.
calming down now. They realize that this is not Ebola. It's not going to kill every other person who gets it. And we now, I mean, we had a mental virus. The mental virus was fear, and that's
Mhm.
worse than the virus itself. Well, now it kind of calmed down, but I give such credit to my staff and, of course, all the people in Chattanooga who are also courageous heroes who step up to the plate. Everything from the people at the grocery store to the hospital. But my staff are kings and queens to me, and they have done stellar jobs of keeping the public supplied with the nutrients that are so freaking important. And again, I repeat, I've never seen in 41 years more physicians send people in here because they understand that it's safe, effective, not very expensive, and it works.
But I'm also going to say this. I think I love what I've heard. You're not the first business owner I've heard give kudos to other employees from other businesses or to their employees. But I also think it's a because I owned small businesses for a long time during different crises. During '08 when crashed, I owned a billboard company, but and try selling advertising, and that was just crazy. But I think also we should be learning the importance of the business owner. I know, and managers and leaders, I know for a fact, because you and I have talked, you're the owner. And when somebody says you're a business owner, they're like, oh, he only works half days. Yeah, 12 hours. You're right. He only works 12 hours. But I know for a fact you have been in the store right alongside your employees, along with every other small business owner that I know has worked harder during the last 6 weeks to keep business going than they ever thought they would work again when they started their business. You haven't worked this hard probably since you started the business.
No, it's been the most draining 6 weeks because when you upset and turns a person's whole routine upside down, I don't care if it's me or whoever, it really disconnects a lot of this platform of safety and routines and being able to know what you're expecting every day. I never know what to expect when I walk in the mornings. We're having to shoot decisions out and put out fires just like a fireman does, and it's tough. And
But I but
I've
I
got the
think
backbone for it, and I've got a daughter who also has the backbone for it, who's
well,
also my partner.
and I've seen this with other small businesses that do business the right way, and I'll let you go because we've hit our mark. But the reason I think a lot of time employees work hard for businesses is because they see their leaders, not always the lead business owners. They see their leaders and business owners working right beside them. I'll give you a great example. I've been doing the online shopping at Food City. Well, I had to run in there to get something, which means I am literally dressed like a hazmat man. I've got my paint spray aspirator on, man. I got gloves. I don't care if people looking at me. You can't tell who I am anyway. But I saw one of the managers in there and he was doing the personal shopping, two managers.
Uh-huh.
And I just walked by him and I said, "You're the manager I've talked to on the phone." He goes, "Yeah." He goes, I said, "You guys are doing a great job." They're now working longer shifts. They're in there personal shopping for people, trying to make these decisions. Is this what they want? Is that what they want? They're calling people individually. Mr. Powell, your order is ready for pickup. I mean, just things that they never thought in the million years they would do when they took a job or when they started a business like you did. And I think the reason people work right along beside them is because they see they're willing to get in there and mix it up with them. And that's a good thing. And that's the American business owner spirit. And that's what I love.
You said it correctly. That is the spirit that built this country, and it will continue to build it. And that's what's going to keep Nutrition World here and
Yes.
many other hero, brave businesses. Because stepping up to the plate, being courageous, supporting your staff, being optimistic. We are going to get through this. The green light is on the other side. Doesn't mean there won't be ripples. We got a lot of rebuilding to do, but we're going to have a pent up need for people to buy things that I think will boost the economy relatively quickly.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have to help a lot of people, but we are on the turn for the better. We just truly are.
And I also,
And the thing is, I know that my industry, it will go to a new level that I never dreamed possible, because I'm hearing people say things that I never knew that they would even think about. How do I build an immune system? I know now why I've been sick for so long. I've been doing this and I need to change it.
I'm going to
It's
tell you
an
something.
awakening.
I will say this, and you said it to me for a while, but 2019 was just a bad year for Clint Powell. I gained my 30-something pounds. Mentally, I was just shot. And I'm not saying I'm back, but I will say this. Things that you have said and I've heard other people say are starting to stick in my brain during moments like this. And sometimes it takes pressure it takes it for it to really sink in. But when I start eating something with a lot of sugar in it, I think immediately my immune system from the next 3 to 4 hours is going to be crap. And you do not know how many times I've actually put it down, didn't buy it, thrown it away because I'm like, I don't know if that's the 4 hours. I'm not going to put myself in that place.
Well, I just finished an ebook literally an hour ago that we're posting on nutritionw.com of how to build a truly robust immune system. And one chapter in there is exactly that comment. And I tell people what to do with the sugar conversation. It doesn't mean you can't have it, but we have to do it with wisdom and some information. So that'll be posted probably Monday on nutritionw.com.
Good.
The manual, the actual ebook, how to do this stuff.
Good. All right. All right. If you're watching this now or later, check out nutritionw.com. You can get it delivered if you're within 15 miles. They have curbside service. Their online shopping is phenomenal. Give them a call. They'll answer questions. It's that they're not scared to answer the phone. The phone's not going to give them anything. They're fine. Check out the podcast, theholisticnavigator.com. Go to vitalhealthradio.com when Dr. Green and you are having conversations about things. And finally, I said it when we started, and I'll say it when we end. I'm happy that the things that again, if you judge me on last year, it's different. But the things that I have believed in for since I was 17 years old and joined the gym, and the things that you've practiced, not just believed in, the things you've practiced for 40 years are finally important to people. So go check out all your content, and maybe we can do this again next week, sir.
I appreciate it always, Clint, and you are good, such a good example for people with your authentic stories. And I just feel that many people have lost the trust in our own innate healing ability. And one reason is because the conventional medical model wants you to have to rely on them. But now there's an opening, awakening that's not going to always work. So trust your own body. If you nourish it correctly, it will get you through almost any impasse, illness, or sickness if you know what to do. And you can do it with natural products most of the time. Again, if you get in a place where you're really sick, of course go to the doctor. We need diagnostic purposes and people who know this stuff, but always know that there is a secondary path.
Okay. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. And I'm going to think one last thing, and this is called a tease. Also, when you go to nutritionw.com, ask them about blood work, because blood work is very important.
It is, and we're going to schedule it for May, the last Friday of May. The girl just emailed me, and we're going to start the blood work testing back. And she's going to have antibody testing for anyone who wants to do antibody testing.
Oh, that's awesome. There you go. You're the link to it all, man. Thank you, sir. I hope you stay safe. Talk to you soon.
Same to you, my friend. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.